was a big time fan of the Rocky movies growing up. It was something that my dad kind of instilled in me and my brothers from his love of the films, and his love of the films kind of came from him coming to the movies at a time when he was struggling in life. His mother was battling breast cancer for most of his life, and she passed away as a result of the disease when he was 18 years old. But one of his fondest memories of her was sitting down and watching Rocky II on TV. You know, while she was bedridden. You know, and they would watch the movie and talk about him, and he kind of passed that on to me and my brothers. And I came up with the idea for this story when my dad got sick. When I was finishing up film school and getting ready to make Fruitvale. And I had to deal with seeing this guy who was normally so strong, you know, battle his own mortality, and seeing him getting weak and having to help him to do things that, you know, I never thought I would have to help him do. And that's kind of what inspired this story. Man, initially meeting him, I met him through my agents. You know, I told my agents about this idea that I had, and they introduced me to Sly's agent, who's Adam Vennett, and I told him about the idea. He introduced me to Sly's former business partner, Kevin King, told him about it, and then eventually I made my way to Sly. You know, and at that point, Michael and I had a relationship, so I kind of pitched Mike as a star. And I could tell Sly was kind of apprehensive, and he kicking it around. And we made Fruitvale and continued to talk to him about it, and eventually he came on board. This kid kind of everybody, you know what I mean, in many ways. I think, but in a personal way to him, he's somebody who's struggling with his own identity. You know, he's somebody who has an absentee father. His father's passed away before he was born, and he's not sure, you know, he's not sure who he is, and he's on a mission to find himself, and to find some kind of validation, which is something I think many people can relate to. Mike's really talented. You know, Mike's on the short list for every role that comes up in Hollywood at this point, I believe. And but you know, Mike and I are close collaborators. You know, we had a friendship at the time when I was coming up with this story, and just knowing a lot about him, he has great emotional dexterity as a person, even greater as an actor. You know, and he's also an athlete. You know, he's very athletic. You know, very competitive and passionate about sports. So this role was kind of perfect for him, you know, and it allowed him to flex, you know, every muscle, you know, pardon the pun, but it allowed him to flex every muscle in terms of acting, and also allowed him to take on an athletic challenge that he had never taken on before. So it was actually great. And then the X factor was the chemistry between he and Sylvester, you know, which couldn't have been predicted. But once I got those two into a room to talk about the project, it was like they just constantly fed off of each other because they're very, very similar in terms of their personalities, in terms of their sense of humor, in terms of their work ethic, you know, and their passion for the craft of acting. It was great. It was great, man. I really had fun with Sly. Just asking him stories, and he's got 40 years of experience doing things that nobody else has ever really done before. So he's a wealth of knowledge, and he's really, really funny, man. Like he's so entertaining. Like whenever you're around him, man, he's and he loves to give advice. He loves to talk. He loves to teach. You know, so it's not like somebody who sits back and keeps info to themselves. Man, he loves to talk about the stuff he's been through and tell stories about crazy things he's done, and he loves to talk about things he learned. You know what I mean? At times where he tried to do something, fell down, and got up and did it again and succeeded. And you know, he oftentimes will tell me and Mike what traps to look out for. You know, not only in filmmaking but in life. You know, he was really fun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is that the script developed. You know what I mean? Because Sly and Mike are really funny guys, man. Like it would have been a crime for this movie to for them to go through all of the emotions that they go through and not have humor. It'd have been a waste. You know, and I think a lot of the scenes that come through as comedic, you know, oftentimes they were initially written as much more dramatic. You know, but the levity kind of came through in the performances, which was great. And we kind of pounced on that. You know, and with I think Rocky is in his age has become funnier. You know, has become even more endearing. Oh, Tessa's an amazing actress. And Bianca is really the personification of Philadelphia today for us. That's what she represented in the story, and I was very interested in modernizing this story and making it, you know, this relationships about these two this millennial couple, and what it means to be young and in love today when women are just as career driven and just as ambitious as the men are, and rightfully so. You know, and Bianca's trying to make it in an industry that already has a built-in ticking clock. You know what I mean? It's only so long before she can get her break. So she's on a path, and she's also got something personal that she's dealing with that makes her want to move even faster. You know, so when her and Adonis meet and they fall for each other, it becomes this question of not only will we work together, but will we work in terms of what we're trying to do. You know, can we both make our moves and still be with each other, which is something that I think a lot of young folks and young couples will relate to. Absolutely, absolutely. Just the diversity here in the history, and what it means to people to be from here was definitely a big character in the film, and it was great to look at it through the lens of somebody from the West Coast because it is different. You know, it just in how people talk to him, and with Adonis, because he's struggling with his identity. You know, oftentimes when people meet him, you know, he's like they can tell he doesn't fit in. You know, they kind of like trying to figure out, you know, what's the deal with this guy. So I thought it was a real, I thought it'd be a real interesting way to look at this city that we had seen before, but always through characters that have been here their whole life. You know. I mean, it was exhilarating, man, but also incredibly challenging. Um, you know, so many boxing films have been done before, and so many will be done in the future because it's a sport that lends itself towards this form of storytelling so well. So our challenge was really finding new ways to do it, and looking at our story and trying to figure out, you know, what does this fight represent in our story? What does this fight represent for Adonis, and how do we achieve that in the choreography and in the cinematography?